But it also brings me to the whole subject of 9/11, and on the back of that, you had a very successful exhibition, didn't you, in New York?
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah,
a bit about that.
that was fascinating. It all started when I watched a video of a lady called Pearl Maynard, and she spoke of that morning of 9/11, and she was listening to her son get ready. He was early 20s. He was called Keith Roy Maynard. And he used to sing his favorite song every morning to get ready. And he was instrumental in getting a lot of young black kids into the fire service. So he was singing his favorite song, America, and he was getting ready. And he had a little boy himself, but still lived with his mum. And he said bye-bye to his mum, and that was the last day she saw him, because he got killed in the North Tower when it collapsed. And it was just that lovely video, 50-minute video, and my heart went out to a lovely old lady. Oh my God. So I did a painting, and I used the same strategy, that key of instead of this old gadgie, this old man, I made him a firefighter, a New York firefighter. And you know the uniforms that they wear, protective garbs, they have the black, they have the yellow stripes around, and then they have their name at the bottom of the uniform. Well, I put Maynard, I put his name, and I put the helmet, his ladder, his the place, the worked, not the office, it's the yard where they worked. They're called ladders. So I put ladder 33, that was his ladder number. And he had the American flag draped out, and he was carrying a wee boy, just like, you know, my gadgets. It's the same strategy, it was the same sort of like image, but a firefighter, and a black firefighter. I made him black. So I forget how it happened, but we got in touch with the New York Fire Department, and they had charities within the fire department. And we were looking for a way to do an exhibition in New York. And while we were all kind of, it was almost like the universe kind of, okay, this is where you need to be. The structure things, this is going to happen. Whether you like it or not, this is going to happen. So it led me down into the fire department stuff. So I did an exhibition based on firefighters, and I found out from speaking to a lady called Regina Wilson, and she is the head of a fraternity inside the New York Fire Department called the Vulcan Society. And it's the fraternity it's like a union for the black firefighters, because America, the way it is, you know, black people have a very, very difficult time of it. And I hate racism I hated racism with a passion. And I decided to make my own firefighters black. I thought, well, if they don't get recognized, I'm going to make them all black. So I started painting black firefighters. Then I thought, speaking to Regina, now she's the first female black president that's ever been. And she was in tears because I showed her some of the paintings that I'd done of these women black firefighters. And she says, you know what it is? Here's a guy in a kilt, 6,000 miles away, the other side of the world. He's the only one that sees me and what I do. And that touched me. That touched me a lot. So I decided to do more. And I did this a really big painting of what was remaining of the Twin Towers. And I took the image of the American soldiers raising the flag at Iwo Jima. but the figures are made into firefighters with the backdrop of the Twin Towers. It's quite emotive, but there was, out of 343 firefighters that died, there was only 12 black firefighters, and they don't get recognized. They do not get a mention. And when I was talking to the firefighters out there, the black firefighters were saying that when the press came around to take photographs, you know, pulling dead bodies out the rubble and all sorts, as soon as they saw they were black, they would stop taking photographs of them and find white firefighters to, oh, it's awful, shocking. Anyway, the names that are put in the four figures raising the flag, I made them part of the 12 firefighters, black firefighters that died, and Keith Roy Maynard's name was in there, put his name in there. When we came to have the show at the New York Fire Department Museum, there was loads of people there for the open night, and I was talking and blathering away, and suddenly the crowd parted, and there was this old black lady standing crying at this painting of Keith Roy Maynard, and it was Pearl.
Oh.
It was such an emotional time, an emotional moment, that it was like seeing my mum again. And I just went up and I put my arm around her, and we stood, and I gave her the biggest hug, and we're both of us crying, you know. And all the work I had put into that exhibition, it made it all worthwhile just to see her. And I says, this is Keith Roy's painting, and then I explained about the Twin Tower one. I says, I've put his name in there as well, because she had said in the end of a video that she's going to spend the rest of her life making sure his name is not forgotten.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, and that must have stuck with us. And I said, well, if I can have a small part and play a small part in that, it's made my work all worthwhile. But it was a fascinating. I still keep in touch with a lot of them, and it was a fascinating, wonderful moment in my career. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's that we never really know how for any of us, I suppose, how we touch other people's lives. But when your work is so prolific, and touching so many lives in ways that you may never know about, but when you do get some feedback like that, it must spur you on. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, it does. It's every person that says, oh, that's my grandfather, that's my dad, my mum, whatever, but when they stand and cry at the paintings, that it assures me that whatever I'm doing in the work is right. I always joke with the students, because I'll say, you know, paint from here, and I always joke, it says it's right next to the wallet. But it's the emotion that you have to you have to feel it yourself, and if you don't feel it yourself, you won't be able to put it onto the canvas. You have to feel it.